Okay, well, it's a new day. I am back at the far end, just going into the ravine here. I didn't end up riding, the dogs wanted to come, so we just blasted the side-by-side up as far as we could. We hiked into here, but you probably remember those trees that I said I was gonna bring the saw in for. I didn't bring the saw in today either, but there was a little trail just off behind me that kind of side hills through here and ties right into the top of where we went over that big red log. So I think we'll be able to just charge this hill and then drop in right down onto this game trail, which puts us right at the base of the ravine. So I had a good thought there since I was out here last about cutting all this trail in. I think I might just do a bit of a rough cut in some of the low-lying leaf tree kind of stuff to get as far up as I can. Because what I don't want to do is spend a schwack of time cutting all this out of here and then get to the top and the exit of the ravine just be vertical or something crazy like that. Or who knows, maybe there's like 90 blowdown between here and there. So I'm just going to do a bit of a rough cut in and then come back and we can kind of tune the rest up once we know for sure that it will go all the way through. So we'll get set up here at the bottom and then start cutting our way up to the top. Yeah, we managed to get the first 50 feet or so done, and for the most part, it's not too bad. Just lots of tree branches kind of coming down. We got a few blowdown by the looks of it up in front of us. But the thing that I'm kind of noticing here is that there's just a ton of these little side shoot trails feeding into this, so it'd be good to explore some of these and see if they tie into that upper side hill section I was mentioning a little bit earlier in the video. That can all be for another day. But the ravine itself so far is a pretty decent grade. We gotta pull this guy out of the way where we could turn and go around. I'll see if I can move it first. You know, that log just broke out of there fairly easy. It was pretty rotten. Busted it up into 3 pieces. There was a little bit of a drop off hole there, so I threw one chunk in that. But it's opening up quite nicely. And then as we go this way, it's still pretty bushy. I'm pretty sure that that trail that I was mentioning the other day that we hiked in on is just up past this next bit of section we got to cut in. And then we'll see what that upper piece looks like. Yeah, well, this section is looking a whole lot better. We're about to go into probably the thickest spot yet. It looks like there's maybe 2 or 3 blowdown. I think they're probably pretty well rotten. We should be able to bust them out of the way. But the ravine gets quite narrow here, like maybe 8 to 12 feet across. So this is a little nasty through here. I think that we'll just do our best to keep it thin. Like I took this quite wide, opened it up. And then any of the branches and trees that I could just bend over, I did, so that they'll keep growing. But this here is kind of pretty thick and nasty. So we'll get in here, we'll cut out the big stuff first and just see what we got to do. Okay, well, I think what I'm gonna have to do is leave this. There's three trees in here. Maybe I might be able to get that fourth one with the tools I have today, but this one's pretty big, not very rotten. So we'll see. I might leave it. It might be kind of cool to have to duck underneath, slow the trail down a little bit. This one here is gonna have to either get cut out, or I'll cut up this one and that other one on an angle, plus the fourth one, and then I'll fill this in and make a bit of a ramp with a few of the rocks and the logs, just to make another bit of a feature in here. So I think what we'll do is we're gonna end up leaving all this for today, and then I might just skirt through and keep cutting the rest of those bushes out of there and get this opened up a little bit. But this is gonna be a pretty cool trail. It's all rock, straight vertical rock cliff right here, probably 12 feet tall. So it's gonna look pretty nice ripping through here. So we'll get this camera set up again, and then we'll keep going, and just keep in mind we'll come back and buck this up with the chainsaw on a later day. Okay, well, for now I just ended up throwing a bunch of that debris just in front of that log. Like I say, I'd like to just try to grab some of these rocks that are laying around, and we can build a nice little, maybe not right in the middle, but we can maybe put it in over here where you kind of have to ride up on this high spot and then come through here. Then I'll try to pull these two logs out of the way. But what I'm thinking is, it looks like we could go up through there, but it's real nasty. I think we might take high ground here and cut that corner out, and it'll be a little less brambles. It's a little steep, so we'll have to get a good drive off of this. If we build it right, we could probably jump into here, land, and then pin it straight up there. Be a nice shot. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll try to get these two, at least this one. I don't know, it's pretty long and wedged in down here now. So again, maybe we'll just leave this for today, and then we'll keep going through here. And like I say, I think this is gonna be the easiest shot. We'll have a better look once I get in there, but we'll get you set up again. So the whole time that I've been hiking up in through here, I've been looking at the ground thinking that it looks like a fire ripped through here. Like, this all looks like ash, which I thought was kind of weird. And I was like, there's no way, because none of the trees around this area are burnt. But then I just went and grabbed this dead log to throw up against here, and it's all burnt. So I don't know what that's all about, but it's basically been all the way from the bottom all the way up, and then like I say, like you can see it just looks like pure ash. So somebody that watches this knows what that might be about. Feel free to throw that in the comments, because it is everywhere. Okay, well, now that this is opened up, this is gonna get a little steep here. So again, we still gotta cut some of this stuff out of here. And then this piece here is actually quite vertical. So I pulled this one log down, just laid it here. We'll use it for material. I didn't want to drag it too far because we'll cut it up and use it where we need it. And then there's some good rocks there for building, because I think one thing that'll happen is that this is going to be poor traction and we're going to spin out. And then I think there's a big, well, I know there's a big hole right here, but you kind of need to come through here to get over this log. It's pretty rotten. It'll probably break out of the way, and we can shoot basically straight for there. So yeah, we might have to do a bit of filling in here so that the bike tires aren't just going to slide in there every time we come up. So yeah, we'll leave this log for now, and then we'll do a bit more cutting, and then we're going to be basically, I think, shooting straight up that lying down tree. We'll just leave it there, and we'll make that the trail right through there. Okay, well, I'd be lying if I didn't say that this is getting steep. So originally I was thinking of coming up on the left side of this poplar. It gets pretty tight at the top, and then there's a massive fir tree cutting across this way. So I'm almost kind of thinking that I need to cut this out. Once we get over this log, I think we could back down and then take a drive at this. I open this up a bit. I'm gonna open this up anyways, just in case while I'm in here. I just think that it might be the better option. We might have to charge into here and then back down and then charge up on an angle. But you can see that it gets a little nasty in there and then even steeper. So we might have to try to get something opened up in here where we can charge high. And then we might have to back down and build a little bit of a back-in landing on this log so that we can get another drive to get up that second piece, because it looks even steeper. I mean, that's what I'm seeing so far. I don't know until I get in there, but it's getting hella steep now, which is what I was worried about, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, well, in behind me, I don't really know exactly which way we're gonna go yet, so I ended up opening it quite wide. A lot of those bushes were actually attached on the right side and then growing sideways across the path. So I don't know about going up this side. I think that it's gonna make the most sense to shoot up kind of up this way into here around those brambles or leaf trees, and then kind of shoot back left. So I just went in and cut all that down. Now we'll come and I'll pull all that out. And I think what I'll do is I need somewhere to put it. So I think I'm just gonna kibosh this left side and throw all of the bushes over there because I got a ton of space. And then that leaves me with either coming up this right side or straight up the gut, kind of right in through here. This one might be a little tough. I think that coming here might be best, but we'll get all these bushes moved and see how it looks once we get her opened up. Yeah, we got her all opened up. Trail I think will be up on the top side there. And then again, this is really steep, but I'm not wanting it to be super sketchy. So we'll come back, and once this is all roughed in, there's a ton of rock around here. We'll build this up so that it's a nice flowing trail, just because it's gonna be so loose. So we'll get this all cleaned up. And then I think what we're gonna have to do, I'm just gonna climb to the top here. Fuck, it gets steep. So I don't know, I think we might have to come out of here and turn. And then this might be needing a bit of work, but I think this log might not move because this is all rock. So this will be all rock. I mean, this is too, but I think what we might have to do is build all this up with rocks, have that trail come down through here, and then we'll just have it turn. And then I think we might have to just zigzag a little bit here because it gets pretty steep. Probably up until that tree, so I'd say another 100 yards, 150 yards. So we might have to do a bit of a zigzag. So we'll zigzag to there, up, and then continue. I'm not sure exactly what it looks like up past this log. Steep as fuck. Yeah, so I think I'll explore a little bit in there and then see. Okay, well, we just ended up still being at this one corner here. I do think that we'll be able to make a couple multiple lines because I have two lines coming out of this narrow section at the bottom. One on the right and then one up the gut. And I think that the one on the right will crisscross, come up and then turn. And then the one that comes up the gut's just gonna stay. And I think if we carry enough clip, we should be able to just bounce from that rock right up, turn, and then go up. But I won't know until I cut it out a little bit more, but batteries are all dying, so we'll fast forward to another day. All right, you guys, we're back out here cutting this low line trail again. The last time I was out here, I made a catastrophic error and lost the keys to the side-by-side. So I hiked all the way in here and we were working that upper section, and I think I stopped and grabbed something out of my bag. The bag tipped over, didn't realize it. Keys were in a stupid spot. Anyways, long story short, lost the keys. Didn't realize until I was back at the side-by-side. So then I called Shaylin, walked back in to look for it, couldn't find them. And then she ended up just coming home and pulling the side-by-side and me home. It's not that far, so it was pretty fortunate. But I brought recruitment in today to help me look for the keys, and then just to get an extra set of eyes on this low-lying trail. We wanted to make it nice and wide, not only for the dirt bikes, but for horses. At least this lower piece, that upper section, is gonna get a little bit tight and nasty, I think, for the horses. But I wanted to bring Ava along to see what she thought of this low-lying piece for her horses. So far, thoughts?
Good.
Just good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Off to a solid start. So anyways, we're gonna hike in here and see if we can't find these keys, and we might do a little bit of trail cutting at the top, but it's pretty hot today, so mostly just coming in to try to get the keys and get an extra set of eyes on this lower section, and then we will go from there. Okay, well, mission successful. We managed to hike all the way to the top where we thought it might be, and it ended up being at the very bottom. We were walking just about to get into the, well, not just about to get into the truck, a little bit ways away, and the dog stopped and was sniffing on the ground, and sure as shit, sitting right there beside where she was smelling. So anyways, chalk it up to a win.